Hi, I'm Michael.
And I'm Cherise, and this channel is all about personal branding and finance.
Great, and we are helping young professionals to improve every single day.
That's it in their way.
Great, so if you want to get from here to here, make sure you subscribe and we are going to help you get there.
And if you already knew all of that, welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. Wow, we have been doing this consistently for how long now?
We've done more than 10 because I haven't edited all of them.
Really? 10 weeks of well, they're coming out.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm really excited to be in front of a camera talking to you guys once again. Before we go into what we're going to talk about today, I wanted to say a big thank you to all our subscribers, those who are following our Instagram page, those who have subscribed to our YouTube channel, and also those who have actually made the extra effort to go onto our Facebook page, which is
Purposeful Personal Branding Nation.
Great. She says it better than me. That's why I do that. So we hope you guys have been enjoying the content that we're producing, and we hope that, you know, for weeks and months and years to come, you know, we'll continue to be able to add value to you guys each and every single day, right?
That's it in their way.
Right, so today we have quite an interesting topic for you. It's going to be quite a short one. However, we thought that it would be really relevant. So for those of you that don't know, because of COVID-19, and according to our Chancellor, we are at a point, or we have already gone into a point whereby we are entering a significant recession.
And what is a recession, Michael?
Right, so by definition, I had to use Google for this one, right? So can't get this right because people can't get this wrong. Thank you, sweetheart. And Cherise is going to put the definition at the bottom of the screen. Recession is a period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industrial activity are reduced, generally identified by fall in GDP in 2 successive quarters. Okay, this is the way I understand a recession, right? The way I understand a recession is when there's just been general lack of spending in the economy.
Okay.
In simple terms. And this has like massive impacts, right? If you're not spending, if there's, you know, very little demand, people can't sell. And if people can't sell, but they need to sell, it tends to mean that prices of goods go up. And the prices,
I think is so counterintuitive.
Yeah, I know.
If people aren't buying from me, why would I put the price up so that they would choose to buy from me?
Because you have costs.
Because I have costs to cover, so the few people that do buy from me, I'm penalizing them.
Well, you're kind of gonna have to cover your cost, right?
What a world we live in! Oh no! Okay, good.
So yeah, that is basically what a recession is. If you don't know what it is, when there's a general lack of spending, you tend to have something called inflation. And inflation is basically just means when the value of your money goes down, right? So what you could buy with £1 before probably cost you £1.50 now, right? So yeah, well, perfect example. Thank you, Cherise, for reminding me. A box of Indomie that used to cost me £6 now costs me double that amount. That is what happens in a recession, right? And because of COVID-19, we are entering a significant recession. Also, it tends to be that in a recession, we have, just go back to the financial crash of 2008/2009. Go back to the time.
Year 8. So, what?
And so what tends to happen in a recession is you have a massive problem with unemployment, a massive problem of inflation rates going up, and essentially the value of the pound just depreciates.
But it's not just the pound, it's everywhere, isn't it? It's a global thing, because if we're feeling it, because we're all like linked, all the trading happens globally now that, you know, I'm not know where I'm going with this.
No, okay, I'll help you out there. I kind of know where you're going with it. Yes, you're right. In a sense of globalization, yes, COVID has impacted pretty much most of the economy. In Germany has just recently gone into a recession, and Germany actually, by research, is the strongest economy in Europe. They've just gone into a recession. So you're right. A lot of countries, not just the UK, will be in a recession at the moment. Right? So what we're here to essentially help you with is to give you some tips on how to prepare for a recession, right?
Yeah. How to cope, how to deal.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. How to operate, how to survive.
Yeah, how to survive and
how to thrive in the recession.
Yeah, basically. So the first tip I want to give you guys is essentially to save an emergency fund.
As much as you can.
So we did a savings video,
Yeah, we
right?
did.
I think we did a savings video. That's the only video I can't remember us doing, but we did a savings video apparently, right? And
Apparently, we did.
and it's so important for you guys to go back to that video and understand, you know, how we see saving. And that's my first tip for you guys: build an emergency fund. And in that saving video, I believe we talked about paying yourself first.
Yes.
So right, if you're still lucky enough to have your job, make sure that you're putting 10 to 20% of your salary away, okay, into an emergency fund, because you're going to need it in a recession, right?
That's right.
It's likely that sometimes, you know, you might be impacted by unemployment. You might all of a sudden not have a job because the value of the pound has gone down. It means things will become or seem more expensive, right? So please make it a priority to save an emergency fund, 10 to 20% of your salary, okay? If you want to even create a separate bank account for it, so when you get paid, just remove, for example, me and Sharice, we do pay something called tithe. After our tithe, I would pay myself immediately, right? I'll put money into my savings, okay? So that's the first tip. The second tip is establish a budget and pay down your debts, okay? So if you have loans, if you owe people money, if you owe the bank money, if you own a credit card, I would start working on paying down those debts.
Yeah, not just the minimum required amount, but try to do more every month. It helps for a lot of things, a lot of reasons. You're going to be putting down your credit card expenses so that you're not going to be paying a lot of interest on the monthly amount, so the limit might decrease. So some months you might not actually need to, but if you keep putting it away, it will help so that creditors aren't on your back, and you have something there. If you ever need to, you're going to be able to still use it. I'm trying to say use your credit card.
I'm trying to say
but
try not to use your credit card and try to pay it
off so that you can use it.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, a credit card is there to be used if you need it, right? But I would just advise, just stay away from spending your credit card. It's good practice for me right now, right? I want to stay away from I can't even remember the last time I used my credit card.
But you need to use it.
Yes, you do
have a good credit report.
Yes, it does, but it gets to a point. So my credit score is currently excellent, right? It can't go higher than that, right? So I don't need to use my credit anymore. You get what I mean? I don't need to use my credit card anymore if it's already excellent.
No, you still need to use your credit card.
I mean, my credit card is not the only thing that determines whether my credit score goes up or down. There's paying my bills on time. That's the main thing that matters, right? Because the whole point of having a credit card is to have a system of paying a lender back to show that you're trustworthy. So if you finish paying your credit card back, but you're still gonna have recurring bills you need to pay, focus on those. You don't need to continuously incur yourself, get yourself into more debt with credit cards and stuff like that, just for the sake of, I want to keep my credit score up. If your credit score is really bad, like really, really bad, then yeah, it's a good tactic to use. But if your credit score is excellent, like some of you that are watching, I would say just avoid using your credit card. Use everything on your debit card, but keep paying your bills. Like, that is still a form of showing to your lender that you're trustworthy and you can pay your bills up on time.
Especially in a recession.
Exactly. So we said pay down your debts and also establish a budget, right? So what that means is set a certain budget. So if you say, okay, every month I'm not going to spend more than £100 on food, that's your budget, right? And I remember in one of the videos that we made, I was talking about doing a budget versus actuals. So if you say a budget is, I've set £100 a month for food, I don't want to go above that. Your actual is if you spend either £100 or less or more. Right, then you start to measure, okay, did I go over budget, did I go under budget, or did I stick, am I sitting on that budget, right?
So during the recession you want to make sure that you are sticking to budget,
or even spending less. Okay.
So when they say, okay, live below your means, this is the actual time when you need to start putting it into practice a lot more than you were before.
Yeah.
And really tighten up your budget.
Yes, I agree. Next thing is identify ways to cut back and try to live a more frugal lifestyle. So essentially what that means, guys, is stop buying clothes that are really expensive. Stop buying heels, ladies, that are really expensive. Try to leverage websites where you can get things for cheaper or on Groupon, like things like Groupon and Voucher. Like those are websites. I'll be honest, guys, when I was furnishing my house, I spent a lot of time on Groupon and Voucher because I was like, it doesn't make sense for me to like try to find, if this thing is on Voucher, it will probably cost me much less than than if I bought it at the retailers or something like that, right? So I would say try to live a more frugal lifestyle, spend less on unnecessary things, spend less on things like fast food, things like unnecessary clothes that you don't need but you just want to buy. You want to buy a fancy bag or a heel.
Or if you're gonna buy one bag, it must be of good quality so that it will last you for a good long time.
Yes, just live a much more
and
tight.
buy in bulk as well.
Yeah.
When you're buying like food, especially, so that you can cook your meals and stuff, buy like wholesale prices. Buy a lot more than you can, so it can last you longer, and then you're not really going to the shops all the time and spending, because that's gonna tempt you to spend if that's the kind of person you are.
Have you ever shopped at Costco?
Yeah.
Go to Costco. Get a Costco card.
Yeah.
That's a wholesale place, right? Where you can buy, as Sharice is saying, you can buy a lot of goods for much cheaper. So I'd recommend that. Instead of going to Waitrose, go to Lidl. Instead of going to Sainsbury's, go to Aldi. Just little things that you can do, right? Instead of, I don't know, going to Zara, go to ASOS. If you want to buy clothes, I usually shop on ASOS, and they usually have a part on the mobile app where you can look at things that are like 50% off or 70% off. Even though I have the means to buy things at full price, guys, trust me, I never buy things at full price. Next thing, diversify your income.
This is a big one.
This is a big one.
This is the biggest one, guys.
Because we've spoken about it before.
Yeah.
Right? Do you have anything to say on that?
Multiple streams of income.
Yes.
So you have your main job, and you're relying on that for your bread and butter. Bread and butter. Your bread and butter. You're relying on that salary to come in every single month to cover all your bills. In a recession, that's not a very great plan to have, because anything can happen, and it probably will happen. The worst will happen in a recession. It always does. So, not saying that you're gonna lose your job. Don't worry. But like, you do need to plan and prepare for that. And how do you do that? Having multiple streams of income, diversifying your income, not just getting a job, or not just, you have to start a business, but look at different ways that you can earn more money or make more money.
Yes, so Sharice is absolutely right. So I would say, okay, you maybe have your full-time job, you might have talents, you might have skills, you might have, go on things like TaskRabbit, go on things like Fiverr, for example. If you're good at cooking, cook meals. At this time where people are in lockdown, they might not have, the time to go out shopping. In fact, you could even try shop for people. Go and shop for people. If you have a car, you can go and shop for people, and they pay you for that. You might have people that that before the lockdown they spend 60% of their time eating out. Now they're not then in lockdown, they can't go anywhere. No restaurants are open, and they don't know what to do in terms of cooking. You can do a thing whereby you're cooking for people. You make meal preps. Trust me, there are people out there that don't have time to cook, right? They're so busy. So right now, people are at home. They're starting kind of like DIY projects. They want to paint their house and stuff like that. If you're a painter, you could go and do that. Just try to find something that you think you would enjoy doing, or is your talent, or is a passion of yours, and turn it into income. That's all we're saying. Okay,
just monetize it in any way you can. And it might seem it might seem a lot of upfront work in the beginning, but it'll always pay off, and you have that income to supplement your main salary, which is always a good idea, recession or no recession.
Absolutely. Continue your education and build up skills, right? That's something that obviously someone like Sharice, I can give as an example. She spends a lot of time on YouTube and editing, and a lot of time on social media, and trying to grow that organically. She has skills that will be very, very valuable for someone else in the future, right? If she decides to go and work for someone else, or she decides to help someone else kind of do exactly the same thing, right? So you might identify, you might say, what, I want to take a course in accounting. You might want to take a course in doing taxes. Trust me, there's a lot of people out there that don't necessarily want to be doing their taxes, or don't even know how to do their taxes, and they're losing so much money because someone's not helping them do something like that.
Paying someone ridiculous
amounts of money to do it. Exactly. So you might take a course in that. You might take a course in, like I'm taking a course in a life coaching diploma, which is big news coming on that, right? Big news coming on that soon. There's so many things you can do with your time, right? If you're someone, but if you feel, listen, we're not putting you under pressure. We're not saying that this time that you have to spend it learning a new skill. But guys, reality is we are going into a recession. You have no guarantee whether you're going to have a job in 3 months, in 6 months. We're just basically helping you to understand that you need to cover yourself.
Yeah, yourself and your loved ones, because who's going to have to bail you out if you're in a thing?
Exactly.
Oh, and that's another thing. Make sure that you utilize everything that the government is doing to help. Like, I know in certain countries they don't have like incentives that the government are doing to help their citizens. So we're in the UK, I can talk for England, we get a lot of help from the government. Even when this COVID thing, they did help us a lot, and those that knew about it, they got good payouts, like businesses, self-employed, people that were in trade, people that were in hospitality, like they did get help. And in a recession there's going to be a lot more incentives, a lot more of a lot more schemes that they will do to help you, so utilize them. Don't feel like, oh my goodness, like if you're eligible for it, why not? Because it's there for you. You're a taxpayer, are you not? So you know, you've been paying into it all this time. Now it's time to, you know, to take out of the pot what you've put in, if that makes sense. Yeah. Obviously not rely on it, but if it's there, use it.
Perfect. So guys, those are all our tips for today to help you prepare for a recession that we are, if you want to believe it or not, we are already in. We wish you guys all the best. Stay safe. We hope that, you know, you're not in a situation whereby your stability is at risk. But if you can follow those tips that we've given, then you will be a-okay. All right. Bye guys.
Bye.